The Connecticut Sun are moving on to the next round of the WNBA playoffs after a very convincing Game 3 road win against the Minnesota Lynx, 90-75. Next up, the New York City Liberty on Sunday with Jenna Lemoncelli as the Sun's in-game MC, and she's a writer for the New York Post. She's on to talk about last night's win and the Sun heading to Brooklyn for Game 1. Jenna, big game, big road win. Just went out to Minnesota and handled business. What were your takeaways from a compelling Game 3 road win?
Incredible stuff out of the Connecticut Sun, making that trip to Minnesota, playing on the road, and being dominant in that third win. I mean, really, it was 0-0, you could say at this point, and they pulled it out. Again, the Minnesota Lynx did not lead one time in this entire game. It was a dominant performance from Connecticut, especially from their two stars and their veterans in AT and DB. They combined for 53 points and had historic playoff double-doubles, to say the least there. I mean, Alyssa Thomas has been making history all season long, breaking records, of course, averaging a triple-double. But in the playoffs here, she had a career high, 28 points, and then threw in some 12 assists, 6 rebounds. But it was DB who was really shining. She's been incredible from three. And speaking of the number 3, she became the third player in WNBA history to reach 1,000 points and 500 rebounds in the playoffs, joining Candace Parker and Tamika Catchings. So incredible performance by Connecticut. Like I said, they led the entire game, and it was an awesome performance, too, out of Ty Harris coming off the bench there. She was 4 for 6 from 3. And just knocking down key threes, especially in the fourth there. So great team effort out of this Connecticut team and closing it out to reach the semis.
Let's go even deeper on the AT-DB connection. She's talking about Alyssa Thomas and DeWanna Bonner. They're out there making history, like you said. Forget MVP. Are these two the MVD, most valuable duo in the entire WNBA playoffs?
I like what you did there. And
you
again,
you see that?
Yeah, I like that a lot. The bias in me says yes, of course. But, you know, when they get to Brooklyn and they see that two-way punch between Stewie and Sabrina Ionescu, which we just had an exclusive with her right up on the Post website about her upcoming wedding.
I see what you did there. I see what you did there.
Right? Had to plug it in. And once they see that two-way punch, it's going to give them a run for their money. But of course, I mean, when you see a veteran duo like this, I have to say, I tweeted it out last night. When DB and AT were feeding off of each other, it's almost like they're in their own game, playing their own game, and nothing else matters. They know where each other is going to go. Of course, I'm sure they're probably having these conversations off the floor, at home, wherever. But the connection that they have is unmatched, of course. And we know the casual fan might not know that they are newly engaged.
So now it's on to Brooklyn on Sunday. You know that the Barclays is going to have all types of celebrities in the building. The Sun, they're 0-4 on the season against the Liberty, but this is playoffs now. Let's focus on Game 1 on Sunday. What do the Sun have to do to go up 1-0?
What the Sun need to do is, first of all, on the mental side of the ball, keep their composure. Like you said, the Clays is always rocking. They put on a great show there. And the celebrities will definitely be in the building, of course. But they need to get the mental space right. You're going into the semis. You're already the underdog. Let's just call it what it is, because most of everybody has the Aces and the Liberty in the finals. But let's not forget that Connecticut went to the finals last year against the Aces. So they have this deep playoff experience. And I think I said this last year when you and I talked about that series. Connecticut is used to being the underdog, used to having their back up against the wall and playing elimination games. And not that Game 1 will be that, but it'll definitely be that heightened atmosphere. So again, when we're talking about the strict basketball game side of it, they need to be knocking down shots. It's no time to not have their foot on the gas. And like I said, that Stewie, Ionescu, two-way punch right there, that pick and roll game that they have, they need to really protect the paint, because JJ's been going off for them as well. And they have size compared to Connecticut. So Connecticut just needs to continue to not turn over the ball. And of course, knock down shots, get stops, open looks, but really, really protect the paint.
Well, it's all going to go down at the Clays, as you call it, on Sunday. The celeb's going to be out. It's going to be, I'm predicting an instant classic. Jenna Lemoncelli, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Brandon.